Killing Eve season 3, we watched the first episode or two and talked about it. And, we kind of said season 1, masterclass in tension, TV making, relationship, kind of cat and mouse type relationship on TV. Season 2 kind of got away from that a bit, and I think we felt like the show was kind of losing its direction and relying, I think, too much on Jodie Comer just being absolutely stunning to watch as Villanelle. In season 3, I do think there's more to like here in terms of we get a lot more character development and they're building out the world a bit more. The first 2 seasons were so Eve focused, Eve and Villanelle focused, that to get some time with Caroline, to get some time with Constantine, I think really helped to build out the show. But I still felt like there was so much going on, so many pieces to this puzzle, and the pacing just felt all over the place at times. And I just found myself feeling like this was really disjointed season, even if it did have some really good moments, I thought. How are you feeling about season 3 of Killing Eve?
Yeah, I agree. I think the narrative is just kind of off the rails right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be invested in. And it's not as bad as something like, say, Run, which really never established your goalposts and what you should care about.
Right.
But in the case of Killing Eve season 3, as you said, we are kind of jumping around a lot. And I did like that. And I think moment to moment, the show is genuinely, generally pleasurable because we have good acting and we're on all these different settings and locales around the world. It's fun to look at usually. But what's actually like going on, what the characters are actually doing, sometimes doesn't make sense. Sometimes it just feels contrived. And I think a big part of that for me has been Eve, which is a character that I've struggled with, like the purpose and direction of since we got away from the killing Eve part in season 1, quote unquote. And I think Jodie Comer, obviously really great. I think when Villanelle's killing stuff, it's still fun. And there's a lot of great settings once again, or really all throughout Europe. But, the Carolyn development, the Constantine development, I don't know. I don't really know if I care about that much. But like Carolyn's relationship with Yara Greyjoy, Emma Whalen pulling up, like I thought that was quite flat, really drawn out. And Constantine's thing with his kid, a little better, but
was it?
I liked Killing Eve most with season 1 because it's a flip on that spy genre.
Right.
You have all these touchstones of the spy genre with jet setting around Europe, the cat and mouse aspect, right? And you're flipping with some obvious things. We're modernizing it. It's a female assassin. There's some heteronormative things not present, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're just kind of in the weeds, and the weeds aren't that fun. There's a lot of new characters. I wrote them all down. We got Dasha, who's probably the best of them. Yara Greyjoy's a miss. The MI6 boss who gets killed by Carolyn at the end, completely worthless.
Yep.
All the reporters, I kind of like them, but because they're mainly connected to Eve, their usefulness kind of wanes for me. And Elena, I thought Elena was interesting, but we don't get a whole lot of her, so it's tough to make a big impression.
What I think left me really aggravated with this season was there were a couple of moments when you felt like they were really going to do something to shake the show up, right? Were they going to kill off Caroline in episode 3 or 4? Right. Was Constantine going to just die all of a sudden? And how was Villanelle going to then deal with that? Like the only father figure, the only parental figure she's ever really had, all of a sudden really being out of her life. And the show did the classic thing that we always criticize shows for, is that they fake you out with it, right? So they say, like, the Villanelle walks up to the car, shoots, and she kills the guy in the back seat, the 12 guy. But you think for a second Kruger. Caroline's dead, and I really was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the, like, this is really going to be like a plot mover and something that's going to really push even Villanelle's relationship in a different direction. Nope. she actually didn't kill Caroline, and the guy's dead in the back. Caroline's fine. Constantine has a heart attack, doesn't actually die. And Villanelle had to make a choice then, and Eve is the one that saves him. Like, it's very strange, and like, just and even at the end, like, if Caroline had killed Constantine, I would have felt like, okay, I feel like the show's taking some chances here. But in the end, it feels like what they really just set up was that Eve was this person that was up here in season 1, Villanelle's down here. Season 2 kind of brings them a little bit more here, but now the show is just kind of flipping that dynamic, and Eve is totally destructing as a human being, moving more into that socio-psychopath role, and you see Jodie Comer as Villanelle building out her emotional and psychological maturity, which is just kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like that's really what season 1 set up. I know that there was like that dynamic, but I guess I just didn't expect the show to go this way, and it leaves me feeling a bit like, do I even want to really finish this ride? It's a slow ride too. I think that's the thing. Some of the episodes really dragged this season. I thought some of the bottle ones were good, like Villanelle going home and finding her family in Russia. I felt like that episode was actually pretty interesting.
I'll never see Elton.
Yeah, and there were some moments. Like, I really liked when Villanelle was kind of teaching that guy how to be an assassin, and he totally messes it up as the clowns.
Stuff,
like
right?
that scene just in general, really, really cool and like really funny. And what a line from Villanelle, like, management is hard, like, or management
Right.
sucks, or whatever it is. Like that's great. But then there's a lot of moments where it's just like Eve running around trying to solve this mystery with her friends in the newspaper, and it just feels like whatever. Going back to the no stakes, Nico gets stabbed through the throat by Dasha and doesn't die. I was like, Nico has to die, man. Like,
yeah. Oh God, I was so annoyed with that, to be honest. It's like, and even Dasha survives the double whammy of the golf club and Eve's boot, right? Yep. It's like, you're just so resistant to shaking things up. It's just frustrating. It's ultimately, it's a show it's less than the sum of its parts. There's still tons of things to like and tons of things that are done well, and yet we're getting diminishing returns, and that's frustrating. We know we're getting a season 4, a new showrunner once again. I don't necessarily blame the showrunners. I just blame it was hard to follow up season 1, which was more and more presently made clear that it was a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
Shout out the Barcelona scene when they're in the cable car over the Barceloneta. I rode in that cable car last year, and I can tell you, it's never with just 2 people. It's a busy place, but that was cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit disappointing, but I think I'm hopeful that they can find some direction. I hope it's also not the sort of thing that they just keep renewing. Like, come up with an ending to it, find a direction to the show, find what you want to say, and make it good.
If this was on Showtime, we would have 7 seasons no matter what. So I'm hopeful AMC, BBC America is a little more thoughtful.
Jodie Comer still is bae. Love her. Can't wait to see her in more things moving forward.